On the issue of the exchange rate, I think for several years now we've had an overvalued exchange rate. In fact, if you go back 5-6 years ago, there was a debate, there was a raging debate as to whether the shilling exchange rate was overvalued. And at that time, the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF, World Bank, felt that actually the exchange rate was overvalued by anywhere between 20 to 25%. And so I think we try to maintain a fairly artificially strong exchange rate, but also at the cost of loss of international reserves. So at one point we had reserves of 5.5 months of import cover. Now we have, currently we have 3.7 months of import cover. It's not sufficient to address any emergencies, but there has been that decline in the level of reserves, trying to defend perhaps an overvalued exchange rate. Now, that overvaluation became obvious last year. And last year what happened was after a long time when the developed and advanced economies had a very, very expansionary monetary policy, their inflation rates last year went beyond what they had seen in actually decades. And so they took a very strong action in terms of raising interest rates, and as a result, for example, the US raised interest rates by 500 basis points within a very short time and very aggressively. But the central bank did not, our central bank did not raise the rates commensurately, and so there was a gap between foreign interest and domestic interest, and so there was capital outflows. And that affected the exchange rate, and because there was already an overvaluation, maybe our currency depreciated a bit higher than, for example, the currencies in the within the region. Now, I'll come back later to when I make the presentation, because I think there are two factors that affected why our currency depreciated more than the regional countries. There are fundamental reasons, but there is also that what I mentioned about that overvaluation of the rate.